Hey, I'm Llama Gucci from Ashijima's farm and you're watching Disney Channel.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. Is the world ending? What? You never text me first. Unless you needed something. I just wanted to say hi. Aha. Is it really weird for me to say hi to a friend? Wait, are you actually serious? Yes. Oh. Then. Hi. Facepalm. Hi. Well, don't get too excited. Sarcasm doesn't suit you. Sorry, but that's the only language I speak. I hate that emoji. This one? The block button looks real good right now. KS no. Okay, I'll stop. Good. Mimi. I have a question. Yes. How come when I want the time to go fast it stays still like the freaking Mount Everest? I swear to God it's been 1:40 for the past 10 minutes. Here's a thought, you could try not looking at the time every nanosecond and maybe time will actually move. Ugh, I'm just so bored. Like, how is learning about Susan's rate of change going to help me in life? Is that supposed to be math? Apparently. Well, look on the bright side. Witches. OIDK, I was hoping you would figure it out. SMH. What are you doing after class? Volleyball practice. Oh right. You? Play Mario Kart or Metal Gear IDK yet? Or maybe you could visit a certain someone and possibly ask them to play with you? And by certain someone you mean? Someone whose name starts with K and ends with O. No way. But why not? You said you liked talking to him. Yeah, but I can't just go up to him. Yes you can, he even asked you to. No, he told me to see him if I wanted to join the volleyball team, which I don't. PFFT tomato potato. That's literally not even the expression. Whatever, all I'm saying is that he seemed interested in you, so you should take it to your advantage and befriend him. Things aren't as simple as that, choyo. And why is that? Because he's in a whole other league than I am and I can't just walk up to him and talk to him. Kenma, I know Kuroo's status and popularity mean nothing to him. If he likes you, he likes you. But what if he doesn't remember me? Please, I was there for 5 minutes and I saw the way he was looking at you. Trust me, there's no way he'd forget you. The way he was looking at me. Like he wanted to keep talking to you, so go on and say hi to him. But what if he's in practice? I don't want to bother him. All I'm hearing is excuses. Sigh. I should have blocked you when I had the chance. Mean. But you know I'm right. I just don't know, I'm not good at this friend stuff, you know. Well, we're friends, so that has to hold for something, right? Well, to be fair, you wouldn't stop following me around until I agreed to be your friend. Don't focus on the details. The point is, you can make friends, you just have to take a leap of faith, especially if you believe that the person is worth it. Take a leap of faith if the person is worth it. Kenma's chest tightened at that thought. He'd never been much of a risk taker. Even during games he had always been more analytical than intuitive. Should he really start trying now? Especially for someone he barely even knew. You need to stop watching chick flicks with your boyfriend, you're getting too sappy. Kenma, that's not the point. And for your information, it's just me watching them. Kajiyama just closes his eyes and visualizes the scene in his head. Kajiyama is literally 5 minutes crafts as a person. My spirit animal. And this is why I hate men. You are one though. I'm the pretty kind, I don't count. Can't argue with that. Or. Oh sorry, I thought it said petty kind. Gasp. How mean. I'm kidding. HMPH, you're lucky, I love you. I love you too. Good, and because you love me so much you will go see him. Horizontal ellipsis. Never mind, I take it back. No take backsies. SMH. It's for your own good, Kenken. Kenken? Yeah. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? No. Or don't be like that, Kenken. Will you stop calling me that if I agree to see him? OMG, you will? If you stop calling me that monstrosity. HMPH, fine, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Thank Asahi. Bahaha. OMG, that reminds me. Asahi literally gave Yamaguchi a Bible for his birthday and bookmarked his favorite verse. I bet Tsukishima freaked out over it. He did. He was all like, WTF, does Asahi know we're doing it? Is that why he gave Yams a Bible? And outed himself. It was so funny. LMAOO brah. Once he saw students scrambling from their seats, Kenma grabbed his things and slowly got up from his seat. He had waited for about 30 seconds until there were little to no students in the classroom and eventually headed towards the exit door with tiny minute steps. He really wanted to get out of that place, but the realization that the faster he walked the faster he would get to the gymnasium prompted him to walk slower than usual. I wish wanting to see him wouldn't be so embarrassing for me. The abysmally livid building stared back at the boy who was eyeing it like it was an escape room with no way to escape. As he stood there, his lips pursed and one hand gripping firmly onto the straps of his backpack, he wondered how long he would remain frozen like this. A million thoughts ran through his mind, but he couldn't bring himself to move. This was a bad idea. He wouldn't even remember me. I shouldn't be wasting my time with this. Ugh. I shouldn't have listened to Shoyo. It's not too late to turn back and leave. Playing Mario Kart is so much better than dealing with these stupid emotions anyway. Maybe it's best if I stick with the hi. A voice broke Kenma out of his trance and he quickly whipped his head around. In front of him stood a gray-haired boy built like a freakishly tall tree. Kenma gulped as his eyes trailed to the pair of eyes staring at him in pure shock. Whoa, cool highlights, dude. Kenma's eyes widened, still processing the large body towering above him. Thank you. You totally remind me of this cat I saw on the street the other day. It was hiding in an alley, but when I went up to it, it ran away. Which was sad for me because I wanted to bring it to the gym because you know Nakoma, but I guess I can't right now. Kenma furrowed his eyebrows as he stared at the frowning boy in front of him. He reminded him of a slightly annoying version of Shoyo and he didn't like it at all. Lev, stop torturing the poor guy and go practice receives. Another voice loomed from behind the gray-haired boy, who shrieked in response. On it, Yaku-san. The boy nodded warily at Kenma and ran inside the gym like his life depended on it. Kenma internally sighed as the other boy, whose name he had just learned was Yaku, came into view. He had a much smaller physique than the boy from before and also had short light brown hair. Sorry about him, he's just a little hipper. That's okay. Is there anything I can help you with? A smile formed on Yaku's face. Kenma swallowed, mentally scolding himself for not speaking up. Are you here to join the team? No. I'm here to see Kuroo. Kenma stuttered out and Yaku nodded. I'm sure he's inside just practicing, I can take you to him. Oh, if he's practicing then I don't want to disturb him. I can come back later. Nah, don't worry about it. Trust me, he wouldn't mind stopping practice to chit chat. Yaku laughed and Kenma nodded slowly. Okay, if you say so, thank you. No problem. I'm Yaku, by the way. Yaku held out his hand. Kenma. Kenma shook his hand and gave him a small smile. Yaku nodded and walked inside with Kenma following behind. As Kenma entered the volleyball gym, he could feel his heartbeat racing at every passing moment. It wasn't so much that the place gave him the jitters, it was more so the people. Volleyball players were strong, fierce, robust and passionate. Everything he wasn't. And he knew damn well that the halls of the volleyball gym had no room for someone as lackluster as him. Kenma looked around the room, his eyes scanning every person. A black cowlick-haired boy was pushing a basket of balls across the floor. A boy with a ridiculously dyed mohawk was aggressively doing push-ups and a few others were practicing their serves. Among them stood a certain messy-haired boy with a 1 written on his back. He was standing next to the freakishly tall boy from before and it almost looked like he was teaching the other something, presumably blocking from the way his arms were extended out. Kuroo. You've got a visitor. Kuroo immediately turned his head towards the sound of Yaku's voice and once his eyes trailed to Kenma they widened. He muttered something to Lev, earning a nod from the other, and jogged up to where Kenma was. When he stood in front of Kenma, staring down at him with a huge smile plastered on his face, Kenma's breath caught in his throat. He was too nervous to speak, anticipating the other's next move. Was this too forward? I hope he doesn't think I'm weird. Well, look who it is. Sorry if I disturbed you or something, I just happened to be nearby so I wondered if you were in here. As Kenma smiled, nervously fiddling with his fingers, a smirk found its way onto the other's face. So you were thinking of me? Kenma's eyes widened, feeling like his brain had stopped functioning. What? I know. Kenma stuttered out, feeling his cheeks heat up. A roar of laughter escaped Kuroo's mouth and he ruffled the fretful boy's hair lightly. Kenma hated being touched, especially by strangers, but with him he found himself not minding. Maybe it was the calmness Kuroo had brought with him that did it for Kenma. I'm kidding. Oh. If it makes you feel any better, I was thinking of seeing you too, I just didn't know where or how to find you. Really? Yeah. I had a fun time talking to you at the party. Say something, Kenma. Anything. I did too. Kenma muttered, looking up at Kuroo, whose eyes were as soft as cotton and a smile that was capable of stopping time all at once. So you changed your mind? About joining our volleyball team. Oh. Kenma stared at the expectant, compelling eyes peering at him from above, and he almost wanted to give in. No one believed in him like this besides Shoyo, and the thought of this stranger showing interest in someone like him rejoiced him. But he also knew that every time someone believed in him, he ended up disappointing them and himself. No, sorry. I just wanted to see you, that's all. Oh. Kenma felt his heart dropping at the sight of the other's smile faltering. Nice going, Kenma. Yeah, I'm going to get a move on now. I'll see you. Wait. Would you be interested in watching us play instead? What? We have a 3-on-3 match against each other right now. Maybe you could stay and watch, then we could head back together? Kenma's eyes slightly widened at Kuroo's proposition. He wants me to stay. Are you sure? Don't you want to hang out with your teammates or something? Nah. I'm not sure if I want to intrude. Please? For me? Kuroo pouted, his hazel eyes protruding under the bright lights. I guess if you insist. The lost smile had found its way back onto Kuroo's face, much bigger than it was a few moments ago. Great. You can wait on the bench next to coach or something. Okay. Trust me, it'll be over before you know it. The other winked playfully as he jogged up to the Mohawk boy Kenma had noticed before. To say that Kenma was excited to watch Kuroo play would be an understatement. He was as curious as a cat dying to find out the kind of player Kuroo was on the court. Who are you on the court, Kuroo?
Oh, yeah.
Serene, attentive and vigorous were 3 words Kenma wouldn't have used to describe Kuroo if you had asked him 10 minutes ago. But looking at him on the court, it was as though he had completely shifted personalities. As he stood at the other side of the court with a ball in his hand and his eyes narrowed at the net, Kuroo looked like a different version of himself. Kenma found himself comparing the raven-haired boy to that of a calm before a storm. At that moment it was just him and the ball, like no one else mattered, like time had stopped for him. Then he threw the ball up and jumped. He jumped towards the ball with every bit of grace he could muster and hit it perfectly with the utmost confidence. A jump serve, huh? And a perfect one at that. Kenma smiled. Only someone as passionate as Kuroo would be able to pull off something as complex as a jump serve so effortlessly. But nothing could have prepared him for the moment when it was Kuroo's turn to block. Kenma leaned forward in his seat with anticipation filling his body. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the spiker from the other team was going for a straight shot from the way he positioned his body and his patterns. Kenma watched as Kuroo jumped straight into the air, throwing his arms in front of him. Mid-air, the spiker averted his gaze to a different sight and aimed for what looked like a cross shot. Wow, the spiker must be really talented to be able to do that so freely. But before any of them knew it, Kuroo's arms distorted sideways before completely blocking the cross shot with a provocative smirk on his face. Kenma's eyes widened in pure shock as he couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. He had seen a handful of blockers in his life, but none quite like Kuroo. What the hell was that? Kenma's mind was spiraling as he tried processing the conundrum that had just happened. He not only reads blocks but also knows how to read the spikers as well. Everyone in the room brought something new and refreshing to the table, but he couldn't take his eyes off of the shirt with a 1 written on it. Usually looking at overzealous players exhausted Kenma, but something about the way the raven-haired boy composed himself in the air looking so powerful and majestic made Kenma want even more. Wow. Pretty impressive, isn't it? Kenma turned to the coach sitting next to him, a grin dangling on his face. Kenma nodded as he smiled back. It was pretty damn impressive, more than Kenma had expected. That's the captain for you. The latter chuckled lightly and Kenma averted his eyes back to said boy. Kuroo, you continue to surprise me. So how was I? Kuroo chugged down a bottle of water, sweat dripping down his face. You were amazing. There was no sarcasm or hesitation found in Kenma's voice as he stared at the other with piercing eyes. Wow, Kenma thinks I was amazing? Must be my lucky day. Kuroo teased, though there was some truth hidden behind it. I'm serious. I didn't know you could block like that. I was surprised. Thank you. From afar Kenma could see someone running towards them. It was the Mohawk guy. Captain, nice game. I totally knew we were going to win. Your cross spikes have definitely gotten better, Tora. Keep up the good work. Kuroo smiled at the boy in front of him, whose eyes were perked up in disbelief as a smile larger than life had curved the corners of his mouth. Thank you so much, Captain. I will keep practicing. Good. Oh, and I almost forgot, this is my friend Kenma. Friend? Did he just call me his friend? Kenma looked up at Kuroo with furrowed eyebrows and slightly widened eyes. Kuroo flashed him a genuine smile which almost felt like a confirmation to Kenma's thoughts. Nice to meet you, Kenma. I'm Yamamoto, but people call me Tora. Nice to meet you as well, Yamamoto. Well, Captain, I'm going to get going now. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, be safe. See you, Kenma. Kenma nodded at the latter, who had quickly left the room. So do you wanna head out? Yeah. Okay, I'll let the others know and we can leave. Okay. As Kenma and Kuroo walked down the streets together in perfect silence, a thought entered the golden-haired boy's head. Hey Kuroo. Do you know how to play Mario Kart? Are you kidding? I'm so good people call me the Cow Slayer. Kenma smiled at the other's boaster. Kuroo definitely seemed like the type to run over cows and be proud of it. I'm sure they do. Why do I feel like that was sarcasm? Because it was. I guess I'll have to show you my amazing skills. I guess you'll have to. Kenma stared at Kuroo, a playful glint shining heavily in his eyes. But before we go to your place, wanna grab some dinner? Oh yeah, ramen? Sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Yaku's POV. Everyone had left the gym. Everyone except for Yaku and Lev. They had agreed to lock up after practicing some receives, to Lev's dismay. Although Yaku knew Lev would agree to practice with him, he couldn't help the feeling of dejection that slowly crept through his body. He only agrees because I scare him. Yaku sighed as he positioned himself, preparing to pass the ball to the nerve-wracked boy in front of him. Lev, are you even paying attention? You totally could have gotten that one. I'm sorry Yaku-san, I'm just a little worn out from the match today. Lev frowned at the ground, rubbing the back of his neck sheepishly. Oh. You could have told me that before. I would have let you go home with the others. I didn't want to disappoint you, Yaku-san. There was a brief moment of silence as Yaku had been registering the other's words. He couldn't ignore the pang in his chest at the thought of Lev being afraid of him or not wanting to be around him. Lev, do I scare you? What? Lev's eyes widened like a deer caught in the headlights. Are you afraid of me? Yaku walked towards the taller one, who slowly started fidgeting in his place. Whatever gave you that idea? Lev chuckled nervously, basically confirming Yaku's assumptions. Just answer the question. Well, you do yell at me a lot, which kinda scares me. Why do you think I yell at you specifically? Because I'm the weakest link in the team and you're afraid I might drag the team down? Yaku stopped moving and stared at the other with furrowed eyebrows. I can't believe he thinks that shit. I can't believe I made him think that, stupid Mori. Lev. Yes, Yaku-san. I don't yell at you because I think you're the weak one here, which you aren't. Oh then? I yell at you because I believe in you. Yaku's heart thumped loudly like it could leap out of his chest any moment. You have so much fucking potential. You're so strong, tall, perceptive, flexible. You can do it all. That's why I push you, because I know you can do it. Yaku-san. Lev whispered softly, his voice barely audible. But I can see why you think I don't care about your feelings, or why you might hate me because of that. I don't hate you at all. Lev exclaimed as he stepped closer to Yaku, who had a small smile on his face. I'm glad. Truth is, Lev, I've always thought you were amazing in every damn way. That's why I took interest in practicing with you specifically. But I'm aware that along the way I started treating you like shit, and I'm so sorry for that. You don't deserve to be yelled at constantly or made feel worse. And I hate that I'm the one who makes you feel this way. So if you want me to stop, please let me know and I'll let you go. But I don't want you to stop. Yaku looked up at the gray-haired boy slowly approaching him with a frown on his face. I don't ever want you to quit on me, Yaku-san. I could never hate you either, no matter how much you yell at me. I could never bring myself to get tired of you. Lev, what are you saying? Yaku's eyes widened at the other's words. There's no way he means this in the way that I think he means. I'm saying that I like you too much to ever hate you. Before Yaku could say anything, the taller one placed a finger under Yaku's chin and lifted up his heated face so that they were eye to eye. The room was filled with pure silence, with nothing but the beats of their hearts thumping loudly. I'm saying that I want you to keep believing in me and never stop pushing me. Levi. Yaku averted his gaze to the other's soft rosy lips. And before any of them knew it, their lips had been pressed against each other, sharing what could only be described as the softest, slowest kiss. They slowly pulled away from each other, the proximity between their faces remaining close as their eyes fluttered open. Yaku couldn't help the pounding in his chest and the heat that had welled up in his cheeks as he stared at the other in utter awe. Sheet. I'm so sorry, Yaku-san. I didn't mean to. The last thing Yaku wanted was for Lev to apologize for kissing him. It's okay. I liked it a lot. Yaku peeked at the rattled boy in front of him with a small smile on his face. Does this mean you like me too? Yes. Wait. The room had fallen silent once again, and Yaku's heart had started beating rapidly for the millionth time that night. You like me too? Well, of course, why would I kiss you back if I didn't? Oh yeah, you're right. Dumbus. Yaku chuckled lightly and the grin on the other's face had only widened. Does this mean I can carry you around everywhere like a cat? In your dreams. Yaku playfully punched Lev, who laughed in response before rubbing his arm. I guess Lev doesn't hate me after all.
Oh, yeah.
Kenma's pog. You totally cheated. Kuroo turned to the amused player beside him with narrowed eyes. No, you just suck at this. I do not. I thought you said people called you Cowslayer. They do, just not for the reasons you might expect. Anyways, you totally pulled some kind of magic trick to get ahead. No, I just memorized the shortcuts. There's shortcuts? Yeah, you didn't notice them. Not really, I mean I've only played this a few times. And I thought you were going to be a challenge. Kenma smirked playfully, earning a frown from the other. How mean. I'm kidding, it's okay, it just takes practice. Clearly you've had plenty. Yeah. Wanna play another round? Kenma held Kuroo's controller in his hand as he looked at the other with a raised eyebrow. Now I'm beat. You play, you're better at this anyway. Kenma nodded, dropping the other controller down, and turned his head back to the screen. What will you be doing then? Well, I have some homework I need to get done. Mind if I work on it here? Not at all. Cool, thanks. Kuroo stood up from the floor and walked over to Kenma's bed, plopping down on it. As he spent his time working on the pile of unfinished assignments in front of him, he would occasionally glance at the boy playing his games so vigilantly. And a small smile would never cease to appear on his face every time he looked at the sight. You know you smile a lot when you're playing games. Kenma paused the game and turned around to see Kuroo with one of his eyebrows raised and a grin dangling on his face. Oh, sorry. No, it's a good thing, I mean you should smile more often. Kenma's eyes perked up a little and immediately ducked his head down, letting his bangs cover his embarrassed face. Oh, thanks. He placed his controller on the floor and slowly walked up to his bed, sitting on the edge of it. His eyes trailed across the pile of papers in front of him and he looked up at Kuroo with furrowed eyebrows. What are you working on? Chemistry. You. Kenma scrunched up his nose, earning a laugh from the other, who had just placed his computer down on the bed. It's actually my favorite subject. For real? Yeah. Damn, didn't peg you to be a nerd. Look who's talking. I'm kidding. I'm sure you are. What about you? Do you have a favorite subject? Yeah. You do? Kuroo's eyes widened slightly, though he didn't mean to sound that surprised. What is it? Kenma averted his eyes to the pile of papers in front of him, fiddling with the hems of his shirt. Psychology. Damn. That made Kenma look up at Kuroo, who had an indecipherable expression on his face. What? Nothing. You just never cease to surprise me. Kenma was at a loss of words, reminded of how he felt talking to Kuroo at the party. He hated not knowing what to say, to be left speechless, but he couldn't help it. Why do you like it? You'll think I'm weird. I won't. It's just since I don't talk to a lot of people, I kinda like to observe and analyze them. It's just interesting to see their patterns of behavior, I guess. That's not weird at all. I totally get what you're saying. I mean, the human mind works in different ways, right? Kenma nodded. It was truly fascinating how the mind works, which was why he hated predictable people, because reading them felt like moving past levels, and he could never feel that same satisfaction if the element of surprise had been taken away from him. You know, our frontal lobe is what separates us from monkeys. Isn't it the part of our brain that controls our emotions and all that gross stuff? Of course you think emotions are gross. Kuroo rolled his eyes playfully. But yes. And speaking of emotions, you know that happy feeling you get when you finish one level and you're moving on to the other? Kenma nodded vigorously, remembering the time he had gotten past level 100 in a virtual ping pong game. Well, there's this chemical called dopamine in our frontal lobe that helps support these feelings. Oh. Kenma paused, staring at the other for a brief moment. That's kinda cool. Right? That's all chemistry right there. Has this information changed your mind about chemistry? Kenma dragged out his tone. Nah. Kuroo gave him a blank stare, earning a light chuckle from Kenma. Okay, maybe a little. I knew it. Kuroo grinned ear to ear and scooted closer. As time passed by, the two of them had spent theirs talking about all sorts of things, specifically about Kuroo's high school days, which consisted of a lot of crazy family stories and some volleyball-related adventures. Midway through Kuroo's speech about why his sister was the worst cook ever, his phone had buzzed in his pockets. He took it out of his pockets and looked down at it. His eyes bulged faintly as he began typing something relentlessly on his phone. Oh shoot. Is everything okay? Yeah, it's just my roommate. He's worried that I'm not home yet, like I'm usually home by this time because I sleep kinda early. Kuroo began picking up his things from Kenma's bed and shoved them back into his bag. Oh, I'm sorry, you should get going then. If I'd known that, I would have let you go earlier. Kenma stood up from his bed and headed to his door, Kuroo trailing behind him, swinging his bag across his chest. No, it's fine, I had a better time hanging out with you anyways. Kenma's heart leaped a little as he quickly unlocked his door. He gave way for Kuroo to leave and leaned against the door frame once the other was standing in front of him. Oh, I'm glad. You'll get home safe, right? Yes, I'll text you once I. Kuroo paused as he stared at the other with furrowed eyebrows. Wait. I don't have your number. Oh yeah. Do you want me to type it in? Yeah. Kuroo handed over his phone to Kenma, who quickly punched in his digits and handed his phone back to the other. There you go. Kuroo looked at his phone with a smile on his face. Kenma Kozum, huh? Ah yeah. I don't really prefer people calling me by my last name. I see. You? Tachitsuro Kuroo. But you can call me by my first name if you'd like. How about Kuroo? No one's ever called me that. But I like it. Oh good. Already giving me a nickname? Kuroo chuckled and looked at the other with an amused smirk on his face. Why yeah, if you don't mind. Not at all. But now I gotta think of one for you. You don't have to. I want to. Okay. Kenma sighed. From what little time they'd known each other, Kenma had learned that it was better not to argue with him. Well, I'll see you later, Kenma. I'll see you, Kuroo, be safe. You'll come by tomorrow, right? To your practice? Kenma raised an eyebrow and Kuroo nodded his head eagerly. I don't know. You totally should. It motivates me. Kenma shifted his eyes to the ground, fidgeting at his place. He was embarrassed to look at the other. No one except for Shoyo had wanted him around. This was all new to him. I don't want your teammates to feel annoyed. They won't. Trust me, they'll all be a lot more fired up with an audience. Oh. Yes, so don't worry about them. It'll be fine. Okay if you say so. Kuroo flashed him a smile and adjusted his bag. Okay, I have to get going now before my roommate goes to sleep. Bye, Kenma. I had fun. Me too, Kuroo. Kenma smiled at him and the other ruffled his hair playfully before taking his leave. As Kenma watched him leave, he couldn't help the warmth in his chest. It felt really good having someone be so interested in him. Though he had the best time of his life playing video games, he couldn't deny that at that moment there was nothing compared to the emotions he felt spending time with someone so kind and fun as Kuroo. Maybe it was the works of dopamine. Whatever it was, Kenma liked having this feeling around. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, Kuroo.